Hey Rangers, today we're back with another review from Manga Entertainment, and that is Dino Charge Volume 5. Yeah, it's good. It's actually not bad. I actually enjoyed it, so let's continue with the review. This DVD comes with 5 episodes, one being the Christmas episode, which is a bonus, which we're going to talk about, which is slightly out of place. It should have been Ghostest the Mostest first, and then the Christmas episode, but that's later on. The whole DVD is about 1 hour and 53 minutes. We start off with World Famous in New Zealand, and I like the way that they've put it in brackets, because I kind of thought, oh, it wouldn't be in brackets, it would be something else, but just kind of leaving out. But either way, this was a fun episode. This whole episode felt very Mighty Morphin Season 3 to me for some strange reason, where they actually go traveling, and it's really nice to see a different location slightly. But yeah, I kind of really liked it. When they're going to find Albert, they leave their normal place. One thing that I would really love is if the Rangers decided, hey, let's just go to different places. Let's actually go out and film, and there'll be loads of different Rangers all over the world. I think that'd be really cool if you were to do like a really big season. But yeah, I kind of really like that thought. So in this episode, the Rangers go off and find Albert. He is the new Purple Ranger, and they don't know at first. They're like, oh, I don't know, who is Albert? Oh, he's just an old man who likes to do the Bigfoot tours and etc, etc. But when they find out that he's the Purple Ranger, there's a catch, and then there's that kind of So first of all, he fights normal bad guys, you know, robbers, stuff like that, normal people. But he doesn't fight monsters because he's never actually had to deal with monsters. And he is very, very scared of them. And I can understand. You have this whole new power, you feel strong, and then suddenly monsters come along, you're like, oh, what am I going to do? For me, I would just rush in and just attack them. Now, this is where I find it quite funny. Albert doesn't know what a Power Ranger is or who the Power Rangers are. And you kind of think with his age, he would have at least heard about Power Rangers. You know, we've had news reports all over the place. So you kind of think of, you know, in that sort of time, you would have heard about the Power Rangers or at least heard about the name of them. Back on Sledge's ship, Wrench brings back 2 old monsters, Stingray and Ice Age. And you kind of think of, if you could bring back any monster, why not bring back old monsters that have been destroyed by the Power Rangers? This would be quite cool and like a really different thing. Maybe that's how Sledge comes back in Ninja Steel. Who knows? The Rangers then start training with Albert, and Albert kind of puts them in their place. You know, the Rangers are like, oh, what are we meant to do? But Albert kind of like trains with them really, really well. Albert then turns around and tells the Rangers how he got his energem, how he found it. Previously, when I said that Albert had never seen any monsters, this is when Ice Age and Stingray attack. They literally just go for the Rangers. Everybody gets their morph, and I kind of thought, oh, Albert's got his own little morph sequence. That's pretty cool. But at the point when he morphs, he's ready, he just freezes. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to attack monsters. In fact, that he is just so scared that he actually runs away and hides. This and the Rangers defeat all the bad guys. So after the Rangers defeat them, you get these like Vivexes that turn around and make the giant one. All of a sudden, then the Rangers then call the Zords. Tyler says that he's going to go after Albert to make sure that he's okay because he still has the purple energem. And this is when like the Megazords come, they form, and Tyler runs off. As Albert is kind of worrying, he doesn't know what to do, Ice Age comes up and fires like a freezing blast, but Tyler jumps in the way to actually save him. The Rangers have a new form of the Megazord, the Pachyo Megazord. I think I said that right, but they add the Pachyo Zord to the actual Megazord so that they can fight against the whole ball and chain. Albert then takes Tyler to the forest where he set up all these traps, and as soon as the monsters come along, he then kind of makes sure that he's like an old man. He's like, oh, I can't move, you know, you guys are a lot stronger than me. At this point, Stingray and Ice Age think, yeah, cool, we've got him in the bag, but this is only a trick. And Albert's like, no, I got you good. This therefore leading him into like the traps that he set up previously to catch like Bigfoots. As soon as Ice Age and Stingray are defeated, he turns around to the Rangers and goes, I don't want to be a Power Ranger anymore. And everyone's like, no, you've got to join us. You've got to come here. You know, you can't just stop being a Ranger. We need you. You're awesome. And this is when Albert says, actually, you know, this could be suited for someone else, someone better. Keeper then arrives and says, hey, you know, thanks for being it. You know, you are a great person, you know, the purple energem couldn't have chosen someone better. He then desyncs the energem so it's not connected to Albert, so the energem could find someone worthy again. And then with that, the episode ends. The next episode is Deep Down Under. We start off with Sledge and Fury on the ship, and they're talking about destroying the Zords. They want to basically just get rid of them so the Rangers can't do anything. And Fury suggests about bringing back Meteor, who was in one of the previous episodes. He says, like, Meteor, even though he's not the best, his meteors were actually really strong and actually can defeat the Rangers. Meteor is then given the command to go find the Plesiosaur. We then come to the Rangers and they are told to actually stay in New Zealand so they can find the Plesiosaur. And this is when they meet Dr. Ringer, or Runga. I'm going to call him Ringer, but I think they call him Dr. Runga. Shelby gets nervous because she knows how important he is, how much of he is a celebrity in the dino world, effectively. At this point, they ask a little bit more information about where the Plesiosaur would be, and they kind of give little bits of tips. Ringer is just a really massive dick in this. He doesn't care. He doesn't really want to know them, and he's just like, yeah, I just don't care. Get away. You're trying to steal this away from me, etc., etc. With the information, the Rangers go out and they find out where the Plesiosaur is. Shelby then turns around and films everything, so they know where it is, so they can come back later on. But then all of a sudden they're attacked by Meteor, and he just bombards them with meteors all over the time. And you kind of think, hey, that's a really cool trick. Just attack them, just bombard them all the time, and you'll win. That's what I would do. I'd just be like, meteors everywhere. After a fight with Meteor and Fury then turns around and finds Dr. Runga, and he turns around and says, the kids that came to see you earlier, they know where the Plesiosaur is, and you need to find them. When you find them, you can have all the exposure you want, but we want the Zord. Blah, blah, blah. And Runga is like, yeah, cool, I don't know. And then Fury threatens him and says, I'm going to destroy you if you don't do this for us. Runga then turns around and says, fine, okay, cool. And he finds Shelby. He then says, oh, I'll autograph that book for you. Do you have a pen? Shelby goes off and gets one. And Runga actually turns around and emails all the data that she captured on her phone, because he's amazed. He's like, oh my God, this actually does exist. And then he just disappears. And you kind of think, oh, you're that sort of person. I know you've been threatened, but you could have told her and said, I'm really sorry, I need that information. And, she could have called the Power Rangers. The Rangers then find out that the Plesiosaur is everywhere, that, they've got information, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, Shelby has a heart-to-heart with Dr. Runga and says, look, what did you do? What did you love as a kid? You can't do this. This is all fake. Say it's all fake. A Zord's life or a dinosaur's life is in trouble. And Runga's like, no, I just don't care. I'm going to go with it. And Shelby's like, nope. Right, fine, whatever, you used to be a hero to me, and, you're not a hero anymore, blah, 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 and then just kind of walks off. So the Rangers then head towards where the Plesiosaur is going to be, because they've kind of figured out the location, and this part just made me laugh, just actually laughed out loud, not just Koda and Ivan are talking about the past, and they're going oh, everything's changed, even when, even our thoughts on the world being flat. And I just laughed because I thought this was really funny. Runga follows the Rangers to the location and he just watches what's happened. And then suddenly Vivix has come, there's an unmorphed fight, which is kind of a little bit different because you always see major fights in suits. As the Rangers turn around and tell Runga to actually run away, he goes into the cave and after Shelby, and Shelby trips and falls. Suddenly then she tells Runga to pick up the energem and throw it towards the dinosaur, which he does. And the energem kind of refills the dinosaur and makes him a lot stronger. With the Plesiosaur being at full power, he flies straight out the cave, attacks Meteor on the way because of what happened previously, which really annoyed the Zord. You kind of think, if you're going to throw meteors at me all the time, I'm going to get my revenge at you. At this point, the Plesio Megazord actually transforms in space, which I kind of thought looked really cool. Out of the entire whole of the Zords, I actually really like this design of this one. It actually looked really, really cool. We also get a cheeky Star Trek reference thrown in there, saying that it's going to be the next the final frontier, which I thought was a nice little touch. If it is a Star Trek reference, if not, then yeah, who knew? But it's really nice to actually see it. And then the Rangers celebrate that they've got a new Megazord. Meteor is then destroyed by the Rangers, and then we switch to Sledge, actually saying that he's going to take matters into his own hands, and that he wants to kind of destroy the Rangers for good, and it's his plan that's going to be kind of implemented. Then we have the Rangers celebrating that they've got the Plesio Megazord, as well as the purple energem, and they're really excited, and they're like, yep, mission well done. Wishing for a hero. Now with the Rangers looking for a new hero, they've got to try and find someone that's worthy for the purple energem. They make this whole scenario so that Kendall's walking and suddenly this massive wrecking ball just almost hits her, and etc, and they've got to try and save her. So when they get a few people like jocks, people who want money, people that just don't really care, they get kind of frustrated and they're like, oh, we'll never find a hero for the purple energem. Grr! If only they knew that Kendall was going to become that ranger later on. With all the people doing it, I think the one person I quite liked for a little bit was the guy that had the muscles. He's like, yeah! And then all of a sudden, Coda's like, oh God, you know, his muscles are bigger than mine. And I'm like, oh, so you're kind of comparing. And then he turns into that kind of douche, not Coda, the guy with the muscles. He's more like, yeah, I'm super strong. You're like, oh, okay, cool. But it was quite funny to see that little bit of humor in there. Wish Star is the main bad guy, and his ability is to make wishes come true, but then after a while they become like a very bad thing and they have like consequences. First he's with Fury, and Fury's just like, no, you know, the energem's been separated, you know, let's go back, I'm gonna get you. And then Wish Star just goes, no, I'm running away, bye, and freezes Fury. And then Fury kind of gets away after a while, and he's like, no, I'm going to make it my mission to destroy you, Wish Star. We now have the Rangers walking and talking about everything that's going on, and they find a fortune teller, and she says, all your wishes will be granted. At this point, Wish Star turns around and goes, I'm going to like kind of get you on this one, and charms all the paper, so when they write their wishes down, they'll come true. The Rangers write down their wishes and they post them. We've got like Riley and Kendall like, oh, we don't really believe in this one, as well as Ivan. He's like, oh, we don't really kind of like trust this, you know, it's all magic, blah blah blah. At this point they see what the wish does, because Shelby has a burger, and that's what Coda wants. That's what Coda wished for. Everyone's like, oh my God, yes, straight away. And everything kind of like falls into place. Sledge is then talking about bringing out a more powerful person, a more powerful monster, and he releases Heckle. Heckle is a human, but we'll later on find out about what happens with him later on. He is the main bad guy for the next series. Heckle is extremely powerful, and he literally opens up all the doors in the prison to let the monsters escape until he has a fight with Sledge, and they kind of like go toe to toe for a little while, and you kind of think, oh, this is going to be really interesting. We're now back at the cafe, and everybody is busy with their wishes and what they've done. We've had Chase turn around and go out on his date because a girl's come along. We've got Coda kind of really just having the shits. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. He actually does, and his stomach's like, oh. Then we've got Shelby. She starts going off on a date with Tyler, or like, oh, you know, is it a date? When you see Tyler and Shelby on their date, Tyler then sees his dad and he runs after. He's like, oh my God, you know, that's you, Dad. What the hell? And then this is when Wish Star comes in, actually kind of defeats it. But previously with the date with Shelby, everything had gone wrong. And this is when they're kind of figuring things out. Everything's gone wrong because well, you know, Wish Star's magic, but they don't know that until now. So now we're coming up to my next favorite part of the scene, which replaces the shh drive, because that got me. This one is possibly my favorite one. Kendall starts connecting the dots for the wishes and turns to Ivan and goes, what did you wish for? And he goes, to save a damsel in distress. At that moment in time, a girl falls from the ladder and lands in his arms, and she's like, oh, Ivan, you're so amazing, you're so great. And Ivan's like, anytime, my lady, you've made my day better. And then just turns around very smoothly and she goes, could you clean the grills? And just points to it. And I'm like, it's just the fluidness. It's like, I'm really cool, but go do a job. I just thought it was really funny, and it just replaced the shh drive moment. Kendall then goes, right, I've got to go make a wish. I've got to go off and do that. The Rangers now explain the wishes to each other, and they have to go off and stop Kendall from actually writing down that she wants a hero for the energem. At this point, the Rangers are too late. When they find her, she's already made her wish. It's already been done, and it's already starting. At this point, as Kendall is walking across the road, a car is coming towards her, or a van, and at that point, Heckle saves her, and she's like, oh my God, you are a hero. And as she pulls out the energem to actually hold it to him, Wish Star steps in and actually attacks. At this point, Heckle runs off because he has a plan of his own. Fury then goes for Wish Star for actually attacking him, and I really like this one part where he writes explode, and he actually just says, he goes like, oh, I wish that you would explode, and holds it up and then just throws at him. Wish Star then starts using his power, his wishing to make the Rangers fall down, but you kind of think, if you have that power, why not just write something out? Rangers are not interested in this fight. Wish. Done. Rangers will hand over their energems. Done. You kind of think that there'd be so much you could do with wishes. They're not going to hurt you or have any kind of repercussion on you. You kind of think you'd write that down and the Rangers would do it and they wouldn't be able to stop it. A missed opportunity there, Sledge. You could have done that and actually got him to write it down properly, or bring him back to life later on and do that plan. That was a plan that I would use. Wish Star is finally defeated. He then grows up into a big monster. The Rangers then defeat him, and then Fury gives Sledge the actual energem. And then when we come back to the Rangers, they all have this whole plan of actually turning around, going up to Sledge's spaceship, and then that's it. that's what the plan is, and the episode ends. One more energem. We open up on Sledge's ship again, and they're mixing chemicals. They then give like kind of a throwaway line, which they're going to use later, and say, oh yeah, don't drop those chemicals, it can eat through the ship, and we don't want that. Poisandra and Sledge have a massive fight, but then they make up. Prince Philip joins the team this time, and you're like, oh, okay. This is kind of really cool. The Rangers then are now talking about having this like little energem finder thing. You tell the robot what to do and it will go do it. At this point, every single bad guy pretty much arrives on Earth under the control of Sledge, and they want to fight. So the Rangers think this is a great opportunity. They pick up the robot, they go to the fight. So the Rangers then put the little robot into one of the pods, and Sledge paralyzes all the Rangers. He then takes the red energem, which causes Tyler to demorph, and he's about to go for Coda, and you grab his energem, and this is when Keeper comes in, and they actually have a fight. This is the first time you really see Keeper like really go head to toe with Sledge. He then defeats Keeper and kidnaps him, and they all go back up to the ship. At this point, Kendall doesn't know what to do, and she's like, Vivix comes out of nowhere, and she knocks out the Vivix, defeats her, gets in the pod, and it gets returned back to the ship. Kendall then arrives on the ship, and she's like, oh, what do I do? She puts on a hazmat suit to actually blend in, and it's actually a really quick thinking, being, yep, I'm going to wear that. It's got a helmet so no one can see me. Wrench then says, hey, you know, take this energem, put it in the locker, and she pockets it. She actually puts the energem in her pocket and kind of takes the empty box away. Sledge then sends down a really powerful monster, which will keep the Rangers busy. Shelby and Tyler go onto the main ship to actually go get Keeper and all the others, and to get the red energem back. While all this is happening, the monster is trashing the Megazords, and this is really cool. It's actually a really in-depth fight, which I really enjoyed, and it felt like this should be more of in either like future episodes, because I think it would just be really, really cool. Kendall is then discovered and then is joined by Keeper because they're all going to incinerate them. I've got to admit, it's the most diabolical, evil thing we've seen so far. When the bad guys are like, we're just going to incinerate them. Just put them in the fire. Just kill them that way. At this point, Kendall's actually taken like the chemicals that would eat through the ship. We were told about that earlier. And she pours it on the floor and actually jumps down with Keeper until they can get to the next floor. What I kind of like is that when Kendall and Keeper land on the next floor, you see the monsters were playing chess originally from the previous episode. And you kind of think, oh, that's really cool. I think I like that. I like what you're using some of the old props from the previous episodes. At this point, the purple energem chooses Kendall and she morphs into the Ranger for the first time, and she's really excited about the power that's going through her, how things are going. She's like, oh my god, you know, this is what it feels like to be a Power Ranger. They're both then joined by Tyler and Shelby, and they're wondering what's going on. They're like, oh my god, a Power Ranger. And Keeper says, oh, it's Kendall, don't worry. At this point, as they're escaping, Sledge reveals his master plan that he's going to use the red energem in the cannon to actually destroy the Megazord, to just blow up the Rangers to stop them. Tyler doesn't like this, and he's like, right, I'm going to have to go and get this. Where everyone's like, no, just leave it, you know, it's more important that we escape, we can come back for it. And Tyler's like, no, I've got to get it. He then kind of runs off. He finds the energem, and this is when Sledge comes in. He's like, oh, I found you. He actually hits the button to activate the laser, but the laser doesn't work. They find out that the little robot has taken the energem and has turned around and given it back to Tyler. Tyler then morphs, they have another fight. Sledge just destroys most of the ship because he's just firing, doesn't care. And this is when the ship is now going to go down because the navigation has been destroyed. Tyler then jumps out of the ship, and the ship is now crash landing because, well, you know, everything's been destroyed. As Tyler's falling to the ground, the Gold Ranger picks him up and he's like, oh, you've done it, haha. And then Rexy is kind of cuddling up towards the new Megazord. You kind of think, are you cuddling or are you just nuzzling it? I don't know what you're doing. Why are you like kind of cozying up to that one? But it's just because Rexy's missed Tyler. So the Rangers all then combine the Megazords together. They make a brand new formation and they defeat this big new monster threat. The Rangers are really happy that they've beaten Sledge. Sledge is no longer a problem. And this is kind of cool because they start going off to doing their own thing. They've pretty much disbanded for a little bit until they can start finding more energems. But they're thinking, yeah, cool. Got a break, doesn't matter, we can do what we want. We then come back to the damaged, broken ship, and guess what's there? Everyone has just disappeared. All the monsters are gone. As the doors open, we see an eye, and that's going to be the new bad guy for Super Dino Charge. The last one on the disc is Race to Rescue Christmas. And to be honest, it's just a kind of clip show. This is like, oh look what we've done. There's kind of not a lot to this. The story is basically that Poisandra and Cheerio have turned around, they've captured Santa's nice and naughty machine to actually say who's naughty and who's nice, and then they want to try and find the base of the Rangers. So they look back at all the good stuff the Rangers have done, as well as the bad guys, and that's pretty much it. The only kind of heartwarming moment is the fact that Chase actually gets to see his little sister after she's been told Chase is not coming back for Christmas because all flights are cancelled, etc., etc. And that's pretty much it. I kind of generally thought they would put in another episode, but they haven't. It's just, I don't like clip episodes. I think they're boring. There we go, Rangers. There's my review. The episodes were really shot well, as well as some of the episodes I really enjoyed, like the whole Megazord battle. I really like the fact that near the end, Sledge kind of got in there to fight a bit more. And I kind of think that if he's all this powerful and everyone's scared of him, let's just concentrate on that. You know, that should be the main premise. I like the introduction to Heckle. I also like Kendall as the Purple Ranger. So there we go, Rangers. What do you think about this? Were these some of your favorite episodes? What do you think about Christmas and Halloween episodes? Do you like them? Do you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel. If you want to help support the channel on Patreon, link will be in the description down below. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.